In today's podcast, I want to share with you about moving forward. Moving forward. And what I mean by that is when we have job changes or different things that are going on in our life, sometimes we can feel stuck, a little bit stuck. So I want to share with you what I would like to talk about is how to move or give you some steps on how you can move forward. You don't have to do it this way, but these are some of the things that I find that are very helpful. It works for me, and it may not work for you, but I do want to just put out a few suggestions for you. So the first thing I want to share with you is to talk about your desires. Now, we all have desires, and we can write a list of everything that we want and all the things that we have in the desires of our heart, but our list can get pretty long. And then actually, when you start thinking about all of those things, some things happen, some things don't. We can become a little bit overwhelmed. So when I'm talking about moving forward, I'm talking about as it relates to our careers or our employment and moving forward. So one of the things that I think that would be helpful is to focus on your desires, but only choose one. This is going to be an exercise where we just choose one of the desires of our heart that we want to focus on. And so you're going to write that one desire down, because sometimes, like I mentioned before, we can be overwhelmed by the number of things that we want and we haven't achieved yet, and then we can feel discouraged, and that will get us stuck as well. Now, the thing that is next on that list is when you write that one thing down, I want you to write it down with details. Be as detailed as you want. I want to increase my listening audience by 10% from what it is right now. That would be a goal or a desire that I personally would have. So I write that down, and now I'm going to put down how I'm going to take action in order to do that. What do I need to do in order to increase my audience size? And I'm focusing just on one. I don't want to start listing out a whole lot of things, because with me, I can just go off on a bunny trail and end up with 100 items, and then I'm still going to be stuck or not moving forward as fast as I want to, because I'm thinking about too many things at one time. So I'm just focusing on that one thing. I want to increase my listening audience by 10%. So now I'm going to take action. So what do I need to do? Do I need to take some classes? Do I need to watch some online videos? Do I need to, go to some of the online, websites and just read about what can I do to increase, or I can Google it. And I have to write those things down. Now, when I do write those things down, I still have to take action on the things that I write down. Don't try to do all of them. Just try to choose one that works best for you. Some people are visual learners, auditory learners, so we learn in different ways. So tune in on the one that works best for you. Sometimes you can watch something and you'll get it just like that. I like to read and understand through my reading, and then get it, and then I can watch it as well. So it can be a combination of learning styles. So pick the learning style that works best for you, and then take action on that. Now, when I say take action, I mean you have to actually execute it. I just can't say, "Oh, I want to increase my listening audience," and I haven't done anything. If it's asking me to post more on Instagram or Facebook, or doing something like that, building my audience, and many of the platforms will give you tips on how to increase your audience. Well, you have to actually do that. You have to put some, skin in the game, as they say. You can take some score classes, or find a mentor. And you don't have to have a mentor that's alive. I like to listen to Earl Nightingale and some of the things that he has in the audio library. So I consider that as a mentoring me, because it's helping me to move forward in the things that I want to accomplish in life. So the same with you. Now give yourself a realistic deadline. Don't say, okay, next month I'm going to have 10% more people, because then it can become a frustration for you if it's not happening as fast as you want. Give yourself some time, but be realistic, 4 to 6 weeks or 2 months, depending on what it is that you're looking to do and accomplish. Give yourself a deadline. Now, don't be upset if you don't meet the deadline, but the reason behind the deadline is so that when you do create your plan of action, you can put time limits behind that. I want to do this by this date, or I want to have this done. If you might have to update your website, you might have to update your podcast, you might have to update your resume. What do you need to do to move forward? And give yourself some realistic timetables based on what it is that you need to do. And like I mentioned, don't get frustrated because it hasn't happened in that time frame. But if you don't put a limit on there, it'll just be something that'll just be out there lost in space. And then work on it every day, even small steps, thinking about it, looking at your card, looking at the thing that you wrote down, looking at your goal, reading it out loud to yourself. And those things are important because they do add up. If you don't do anything, you're not going to get anything. But if you do something, you will get some type of result. And I'm talking about a positive result. I'm talking about a result that is what you desire. If we don't have it clear, we won't know when we get there. And I know that that's important for a lot of people. Many times we say, oh, well, I want to do such and such, and then we don't have a deadline. We don't create a plan for that. And you don't have to create a business plan. You just have to have some sort of plan to work towards. Talk to people who will encourage you, not for those that discourage, because we know that sometimes we can share something with a family member or a friend or an acquaintance or a coworker, and well, how are you going to do that? That's not going to work, and blah, blah, blah. So make sure that you are reaching out to people who are going to be on your team, that are going to either assist you, help you, encourage you, help build you up, and keep you on task. That individual might be your tasks. The person that you say, okay, I want to do this by such and such. And then they may ask them to check in on you to see where you are with your goals. Because things happen, life happens, and we can get stuck. Our emotions can go back and forth, up and down. So make sure that you have someone that you, like accountability. Sometimes we use that word and it's just, I have an accountability partner and they're not the right fit for the goal that you're looking to do. SCORE has mentors that, and that's one of SCORE is what we have here in the United States that helps us people with businesses and starting businesses. And they have mentors that you can contact. Reach out to a mentor if you're trying to start a business, or reach out to someone on a YouTube video, someone that you subscribe or follow, and ask them questions. Don't be afraid to reach out to others, because if they know that you're interested, you're really not their competition. You're just a creator. You're creating new content, because none of us can do things the same way. We are all different in everything and every way that we do, whether it's talking, preaching, whether it's teaching, whether it's creating, whether it's art, music, whatever area, whatever desire that you have something to give to somebody else. You have something that is worth something. So you take that and you make that desire. And as I mentioned, you want to write it down, make it plain, take your action, give yourself a realistic deadline, and work on it every single day. And I do believe that you'll be able to accomplish the things that you do desire and reward yourself in the process. So thank you so much for tuning in, and you have a great one.